And finally, to empower us to execute on our mission, our final speaker is being presented by Rave Speakers and Entertainment. Let's welcome and make some noise for Mark Reed.
Good morning. There have been silver linings as a result of the pivot to virtual meetings during the pandemic. One of the wins was that the virtual speaking platform allowed for some fresh faces on the lecture circuit to rise to the top of our industry. We are thankful to have one of those stars here today. Ryan Leak is a motivational speaker, a storyteller, and an inspiration to thousands. Please welcome Ryan as he shares his thoughts on chasing failure.
FICP! What's good? It's such a pleasure to be with you today. We're going to talk about chasing failure, which you might be thinking that's the craziest idea, but I think over the next 17 minutes, you may come to the conclusion that it's a better idea than you think. There are a couple things you need to know about me from the start. Number one, I am married. This is a picture of me and my wife. You might be thinking to yourself, how in the world did he get her? Let me explain. When we were dating, I overheard my wife say, I think it would be cool to get engaged and married on the exact same day. I had no idea what that meant, so I began planning our wedding behind her back over the course of 2 years. I'll never forget the first time I walked into a wedding venue in San Diego, California. I walked in, I said, hey, can I speak to your wedding person? The lady got smart with me. She said, you mean wedding coordinator? I said, lady, this is my first rodeo and hopefully my only rodeo, okay? Just bring the lady out, okay? I need to talk to her. She comes out, she says, sir, when would you like to get married? I said, I don't know. She said, sir, frustration in her voice. She said, where is your fiance? I said, you see, that's the thing. I don't have one. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, you're not seeing my vision. You're not getting my business. And so we moved on to another venue in Florida, and this guy was so excited. I said, this could either go really bad or really well, but you and I are in this thing together. So apparently I was a pretty good friend in college. I was in 11 weddings before I had my own. So after each wedding, me and my wife would do a little debriefing, like, hey, what did you like? What didn't you like? And I started putting little pieces together. The one thing I didn't have 3 weeks before the wedding was what kind of cake she wanted. And apparently the cake was a big deal. I didn't care nothing about the cake, but they're like, Ryan, if you get the cake wrong, you might get the whole wedding wrong. And so I was like, how can I figure out a way to understand what kind of cake she wants? I said, babe, do you think women really care about cake at weddings? She goes, I know I would. Mine's on Pinterest. I go, on Pinterest? What's Pinterest? And so I go on her Pinterest. She has 242 photos entitled My Dream Wedding. I go, this would have been helpful 2 years ago, but nevertheless, I had it about 95% right. So here's how it works. June 7th, 2013, I get down on one knee and I say, Amanda, will you marry me? She says, yes. I say, just kidding. Will you marry me today? And we open up a lounge room door, and about 85 of our family and friends were standing in there with a sign that said, today! We rolled in the dress, hairstylist, makeup artist, everything that you would need to get engaged and married on the same day. Literally, we were engaged for a real long time, about 11 hours, okay? So when people ask me for engagement advice, I'm like, I got nothing for you, bruh. I've only done it for just a little bit. So we started the baby-making process immediately and started having a couple of kids. This is Roman and Jackson, and there's a whole documentary that you can watch later called The Surprise Wedding, and you can watch us get engaged and married in 32 minutes. Now, the number one question that I get when people see the surprise wedding is, what if she said no? Which is a really great question. But think about it like this. Isn't that the question that all of us face whenever we think about stepping outside of our comfort zone? What if they say no? Especially when you're on the heels of the roughest couple of years we've experienced, especially for our industry, where we're going, I don't know if I got enough in the tank to really get out there again. I don't know if I got enough in the tank to really execute. What if my ideas get rejected? We're all trying to adapt and nourish and execute all of these new plans, and we're trying to figure out, I don't know how this is going to work out. What if they say no? Do you know what this question requires? Energy. It requires energy from every single one of us. Every single day, we will spend mental and emotional energy on something. And that same mental and emotional energy could be spent on this question. What if they say yes? I mean, just imagine, you just started imagining in your mind, like, what if this goes well? What if this is brilliant? Some of us think, why me? I think, why not you? I'm that guy that just tells people to just do crazy stuff and just see what happens. As a part of the surprise wedding, it went viral. We got to go on the Good Morning America show, the Today show. Then we got to go on the Queen Latifah show. Hey, so we get on the show, and the producer's like, hey, the Queen's gonna ask you 3 questions. And we're like, all right, cool. We prepare for the 3 questions. All of a sudden, while we're filming the show, Queen Latifah looks at my wife. She says, Amanda, do you think you could surprise Ryan the same way that he surprised you? She said, yeah, I think I can. I said, what's up about that? Is Denzel here? Where is he at? I don't know. Like, what could possibly happen right now? My wife looks at me. She says, Ryan, me and the Queen. I said, you and the Queen? We met her at the same time. How are you on a first-name basis with Queen Latifah, okay? She's like, me and the Queen have been working on a little surprise for you. So go ahead and check out this video. On the screen came the late, great Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant says, hey, Ryan, I peed on Queen Latifah's couch. I said, what in the world is happening right now? Okay, I started breaking down his words like I was in elementary. He said, hey. Hey is a term Americans use to greet their friends. Ryan, that's me. Me and Kobe must be friends. What's going on right now? I'm trying to figure it out, okay? He says, hey, Ryan, heard about this extravagant wedding you pulled off for your bride. We wanted to return the favor by inviting you out to Staples Center just to come hang out with me and the Lakers. So the invitation has been formally extended to you. You pick whatever game you want to come to. It's on us. I looked at my wife. I said, babe, you are winning the game. This is amazing. Okay, I picked a game that was 3 months from the time we recorded the Queen Latifah show. So I started practicing how I was going to greet Kobe in the shower. You know what I mean? Because you got to do that, right? I was like, hey, Kobe. Ryan, your voice ain't that deep. What are you doing? Are you on the radio? Calm down. I said, all right, I'm going to get it together. Hey, Kobe, what are you, 12? Grow up. It's like, I'm losing it. I'm like, what do I wear? Do I wear all purple? That's weird. All gold? Maybe. The full Lakers outfit? Ryan, are you playing? Like, what's going on? What's going to be our conversation point? Do I tell him I'm a motivational speaker? Kobe Bryant don't need no motivation. I'm like, all right. Do I tell him I'm a filmmaker? He lives in Hollywood. I'm like, this is not working. What in the world are we going to talk about? So I came to the conclusion that the only way that me and Kobe Bryant would have an engaging conversation is if I was in the NBA. Now, you may not be able to tell based off of the depth perception of where you're sitting, but I'm 6'3", 200 pounds, and pretty good at basketball. I was an All-American at a D3-ish school. What's the ish? Let me explain. So the school I played at, the D3 status was pending the years I was there, but we were in the NCCAA, which stands for National Christian College Athletics Association, which simply means this. Amongst Christians, I was really good, okay? I'm church league MVP every day of the week, okay? But in the real world, I'm average at best. Nevertheless, I never pursued the pros. I instantly started doing what I'm doing right now. And so I just said, you know what? I'm going to get back in All-American shape. I'm going to be in the NBA. And I did. I was feeling great. And then one of my friends got cut from the Chicago Bulls. He came back to Dallas. We started playing one-on-one. I'm 6'3", 200 pounds. He's 6'5", 245 pounds. A little bit of a gap between us, okay? And so we played one-on-one 5 times in a row, and he beat me every single time by a considerable margin. And I thought to myself, if they just cut him, why would they give a guy like me a shot? I'm going to fail. And I gave up and I said, Ryan, you're just going to go to LA, you're going to take a picture and be a normal fan, and you're just going to say hey to Kobe, and then you're going to get an autograph and leave. But I'm thinking, shouldn't he be asking me for my autograph? I don't know. So, but then the next day I just realized this. I said, wait a minute, what just happened? How did you talk yourself out of that so fast? How did you pre-calculate a grade on a test you've never taken. In fact, every single person that you and I look up to, admire, and follow have one thing in common. They have all failed. So what about us thinks that we should run away from the thing that made them who they are? So I began asking people this question: what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And when I answered, I said, I'd be in the NBA. So when I met Kobe Bryant, he asked for a picture. I didn't. And so I said, hey, Mr. Bryant, I'm a filmmaker, and my next film is called Chasing Failure. I'm going to ask a lot of people what would they do if they knew they couldn't fail. And it's easy for me to talk about the NBA to you, but when you're looking at a Hall of Famer in the eyes, it's a little bit different. I said, I'm going to be in the, I'm going to be in the NBA. Kobe Bryant's a very intense individual, very focused. Looks at me and he goes, yeah, do it. I said, did you just do the Nike slogan on me? Like, did you just hit me with the just do it? Like, what? What do you mean, do it? He's like, yeah, do it. Now is the time. Now is the time. I'm like, okay, yeah, so I'm going to do it. So as I'm walking out of the VIP room at Staples Center, I'm like trying to sneak out. Everybody else has had their time. I'm at the edge of the room, and all of a sudden, Kobe Bryant says, hey, Ryan. I said, yes, Mr. Bryant. He said, make sure you send me that documentary. I said, is this where we supposed to exchange numbers, or you want my people to reach out to your people? I don't actually have people, but I know you got people. So you want me to just, okay, I will make sure that happens. Now that Kobe Bryant believes that I'm going to chase failure and be in the NBA, and I've told thousands of people that, I actually need to figure out a way to get an NBA workout. For those of you that don't understand what the NBA is, it's the National Basketball Association. It is the top 450 basketball players in the world. It's not a church league. It's not the YMCA. It's not open gym. There is protocol. You need to go to a Division I school that's actually in the NCAA. Like, you need to go to Duke. You need to go. There's a protocol here. They don't just let motivational speakers do it off the street. So I was trying to figure out how in the world can I get an NBA workout. So I did the thing we all do when we don't know what to do. I Googled it. And I found the public relations emails for every single NBA team. And I started with the Boston Celtics. I said, hey, my name is Ryan Lake. I'm doing a documentary called Chasing Failure. Here's the deal. I think you got Celtics fans all across the city of Boston that are afraid to fail. And I don't think they should be. Imagine if we could take their dreams off the shelf together and you gave a complete stranger an opportunity to try out for your basketball team. I'll probably fail. But what if I don't? There's only one way for you and I to find out, and that's for you to let me try. I'm 6'3", 200 pounds, and looking for failure. Sincerely, Ryan Lee. I hit send and closed my laptop. I was scared to death. It felt illegal. Okay, it was like, how did you get our email? I'm like, I think you put it on the internet. I didn't. Don't be mad at me. And so I'm like, what in the world is wrong with you? So I go to lunch with the buddy. He's like, what'd you do today? I'm like, I can't even tell you because I don't know what I'm doing with my life right now. And 30 minutes later, the Boston Celtics, they write back. They say, hey, Ryan, great idea. It's just not for us. Best of luck in your future endeavors. I went, pfft, really? Rejection? Being told no? Like, Ryan, you're failing at failing. Who does this? Like, what is wrong with you? Like this is crazy. But then I thought, did the Boston Celtics just email me back? Like, what'd you do today? Like, this is awesome. Like, I'm like, this is incredible. I'm going to make a documentary about being told no by all 30 NBA teams. I'm just going to be sitting at my laptop and going, you're going to feel so bad for me. Like, they told them no again. They told them no again. And then on the 5th email was to the Phoenix Suns on a Friday, okay? They called me. Hey, Ryan, it's a great idea. Come on Monday. What'd you say? You said come like this Monday? She said, yeah, bring your camera crew. I said, yes. Someone making a documentary obviously has a camera crew and will be there on Monday. I ain't had no camera crew. I had a homie named Chuck. I said, hey, bruh, we got to get on a plane and go to Phoenix. He said, what are we going to Phoenix for? I said, stop asking questions about details you don't need to know about. Just get on the plane. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be one of the best days of your life. He goes, for real, man, if I'm going to take off work, I need to know why we're going to Phoenix. I said, trying out for the Phoenix Suns. He said, man, for real, why are we going to Phoenix? I said, I'm serious. He says, you think the Phoenix Suns are going to let you and me just walk into their practice court, they're going to let you play basketball, and they're just going to let me run around and film you? Man, that's what Julie said on the phone. We got to go find out if she's a liar. I don't know. And so we get to Phoenix, and they said I had a workout with Jeff Hornacek. I said, that's cool. And all of a sudden, I walk in, and I see the NBA team is there. And I said, what are they doing here? They were like, they work here. I went, right. When they get off work so I can get on, because you didn't tell me I was actually going. And Jeff Hornacek says, yeah, suit up. I went, of course. Why else would I be here? Of course, I came here to suit up. Let's do it. I fit in, but I did not stand up. NBA players are outstanding. And at one point, we did a drill. It's a 3-minute drill. This is how the 3-minute drill is. It's just pure running. You start on one end, got to get down to the other side of the court. That's 1. Come back, that's 2. It's 94 feet. You have 3 minutes to see how many times you can get back and forth. The standard was 30. 30, which means you have to cover 94 feet in 6 seconds for 3 minutes. It doesn't seem like it's that long, but you should try it today and see if it's long. So I start, boom, I took off flying, and all of a sudden the NBA player yells out loud, oh, buddy, you started off way too fast, brother, way too fast. And I'm like, how is that possible? I'm like, how can you be going too fast? But what he knew that I was getting ready to find out in about 90 seconds, you have to pace yourself. 90-second mark, I have 13. And all of a sudden I hit a wall. I hit every kind of wall you can think of. Emotional, I needed self-care. I needed it all. I needed everything. And every NBA player stopped what they were doing to watch me run. I'm thinking, get back to work. You guys don't need to watch me run. And I'm just so embarrassed, and I felt the full weight of failure on my shoulders, and I'm going, what moron decides to have his most embarrassing moment and invites his friend Chuck to film it? This is crazy. And at one point, I'm just hobbling. I call it kangarooing. Like, I was just moving my feet as forward as best I could. And as I'm hobbling up and down the court, they're cheering for me like I'm a Make-A-Wish child. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do it, little buddy. I'm like, I'm fully capable, okay? And I'm hobbling back and forth, and all of a sudden, I started to notice I'm going past this logo. Normally, it's the 24-hour fitness logo. But on this particular Monday afternoon, it was the Phoenix Suns logo. And I asked myself this question, Ryan, how in the world did you get here? And I realized chasing failure took me further than chasing success ever did. I'd done a lot of things in my life, none of which landed me on an NBA practice court. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you to try some stuff and just see what happens. Why? Because here's what I learned in Phoenix. I now get to work with NBA teams, and I discovered there's more than one way to be in the NBA. The second thing that I learned was this. NBA teams don't give workouts to motivational speakers off the streets from emails. But every now and then, they make an exception. So I'm going to ask you one more time. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? And I'm going to tell you what Kobe Bryant told me. Just do it. Thank you very much. Hope to see you at the breakout.